Hello, Team Gillette. It is your leader, Jennifer Gillette, and I am here for the fourth video in our series of 4 videos on Basic Direct Selling 101. So the first video, if you haven't catched it yet, it's on booking, because booking is the lifeline to all of our businesses. If you don't have any bookings, you don't have a business. So watch that video if you haven't done so yet. The second video was hostess coaching. So right behind booking, I feel like it's the second skill that is imperative to master and develop if you're going to be successful long-term in direct sales, which is basically coaching your hostess to get what she wants out of the business, out of the business of partnering with you. So she's motivated by either free products or by gathering with her friends, being able to connect together, being able to, some hostesses, honestly, if they have $100 party and they get one half off item, they're happy. So celebrate them. They got what they wanted, right? Some hostesses are a little more motivated and they want to have $1,000 party. They want a $200 free shopping spree, 5 half off items. So that's what hostess coaching is all about. It's not about helping them hit your goals. It's about you helping them hit their goals. And then last month we talked about the selling skill, the third skill, which is selling. And I shared a few tips on how to boost your sales. And I did share in transparency that selling is probably my weakest link in the 4 skills. But what I've been learning, what God's been showing me in my quiet time with him, is in our weakness, he is strong. So he shows up every month. Every month, I think the bottom's going to drop out. Felicia, we talked about that this morning. Things are going great. You're like, when's the bottom going to drop out? I think, what if nobody orders for me this month? But every month, God is faithful, and I keep doing the work, and I keep planting the seeds, and he keeps bringing new sales to me. But today we're going to talk about the 4th skill, which I'm the most passionate about, because behind booking, this is probably my second strongest suit. And I shared on previous videos in this series, I think it's because I just love what I do. And I think when you're genuinely, authentically passionate about something and you believe in something, other people can feel that. And it just happens kind of organically. So I've got 4 things you're going to write down if you're taking notes. I'm going to give all 4 of them to you right now, and then I'm going to go in depth with each of those. So the 4 things, number 1, and they all start with an L. So recruiting 101, listen. The second thing, so write the word listen and then leave you a little bit of space so you can take notes. Number 2 is learn. Number 3 is love. And number 4 is lead. So listen, this is the most important tip for recruiting, is you got to listen. So if you're at an in-home gathering, you're going to hear things like maybe there's someone there who is looking for fundraising ideas for their kids' school. Or maybe you're overhearing them say that they, really want to get some products for free or half price. So they're thinking, hosting. Maybe they need extra cash for their kids who are in a sport. Maybe they want to stay home full time. I was getting my teeth cleaned the other day, and the dental hygienist mentioned that she had talked to her husband about wanting to stay home because she was 20 weeks pregnant. And she's like, can I just stop working and be home? Because she was so exhausted at the end of the day. And even though she loved what she did, she wanted something to work from home. So I was listening, right? Let's see, maybe they have unexpected expenses that come up. I know a few months ago we had a bathroom flood, and so we had this unexpected home repair financial concern that came up, and I was grateful that Mary and Martha was in my life, that I could not take our household budget, but take money from the gatherings that I do and put towards that. Maybe they just love our products and they want a discount, right? They want to be a smart shopper. So listen at your parties, listen when you're having lunch with your friends, listen when you're at church, listen when you're on the ball field with your kids. Just listen, because people will tell you what they need. So recruiting isn't really about trying to get somebody or make somebody do what you want them to do. It's about just listening to people and asking God for wisdom of when you need to share the Mary and Martha opportunity. I was flying back from Florida the other day, and I sat next to a lady on the plane, and I was reading a book, and I just planned on just focusing on my book, and I wasn't thinking about recruiting anyone for Mary and Martha. But she was shifting around in her seat, and it was a full flight on Southwest. And I had someone on the window seat and someone on the aisle seat, and I was right in the middle because only middle seats were available. And she was kind of shifting in her seat and just moving around a lot. We all had our masks on. And she apologized to me. She was like, "I'm so sorry. I know I'm moving a lot." She pulled her mask down to like apologize to me. And I said, "Oh, no worries." And I don't even remember how the conversation started, but I remember praying, God, if you want me to connect with someone today, and I wasn't thinking Mary and Martha, just if you want me to connect with someone today, don't let me have my nose in a book, but let me be open to the opportunities that you have. And we just struck up a conversation. Come to find out, she owned a little boutique in Nashville. We were flying back from Fort Lauderdale to Nashville. And so she started sharing with me about her, like her antique store that she had. And I, wrote down where it was, and that I was going to come check it out. And, then she asked me what I did. And I told her I worked for a Christian lifestyle company. And I told her about Hallmark and Dayspring and Mary and Martha. And she said, "I was supposed to get a job for Hallmark. I was supposed to run like 40 stores in Nashville. It was right when COVID started. And her skill set is decorating and creating beautiful displays, which is not my skill set." And so I was listening, right? And so I explained to her a little bit about, and she had done direct sales before. She had sold jewelry years ago. But yeah, just listen, because we traded phone numbers and we're going to connect later. And she's interested in the Mary and Martha business opportunity. Why? Because I was listening. Okay. So that's tip number one. Listen. You never know who God's going to put in your path. She's 70 years old, and she did not take the job with Hallmark because it was right when COVID was starting back in 2020. And she was kind of afraid because of her age and her health that even though it seemed like a good job, she was really concerned about being around a lot of people because, when COVID was new, we didn't know how it was going to affect people. And she just thought it wasn't a good idea to be around that many people. So, hence she opened this antique booth at the store, and she trades out you could see the passion and the joy in her eyes. And I won't get into all the details of our conversation, but God just anointed that conversation and just put me in the right time at the right place to hear her heart and what she was looking for in life. And she's the one who said, "Wow, that sounds like like I could do that." Like she was basically telling me, "Well, can I work for you? Can I do what you do?" So listen. And I didn't even think about sharing this, but listen to God, because I did. I asked God, if you want me to connect with her, just make it evident. And it just was. He will drop people into your life if you're listening. So number two, learn. This is really important. And this really goes along with listening, is learn from the people you're talking to. So I put a couple notes on here. Learn who they are. So when you're talking with someone, figure out what makes them tick. So back to this conversation on the airplane, we both shared some of our story and some of our walk. And I shared, why I love Mary Martha is I get to share Jesus with people. So that struck up a conversation of faith and just the trajectory of her life and some of the decisions she made. She was literally weeping on the plane with me as we shared our testimony and our walk with Christ and what we had been through. And I shared some hard things from my life. And it was just a beautiful connection, like a genuine, real, like a God moment. She even said on the plane, I'll never forget this. Her name is Marilyn. Marilyn said, "I feel like God put you on the plane right next to me because I need some joy and some positivity in my life, and you're full of both." And I was like, oh. And then I'm crying, she's crying. It was beautiful. But in that conversation, I tried to not talk more than she did. I wanted to hear from her, because when we talk, we're only sharing what we know. But when we listen, people will tell you everything you need to know if you just listen. So listen to who they are, what makes them tick, what motivates them. One of the things she said that really stood out to me is she talked about, I'm just not motivated for money. Of course I need to make a certain amount of money to live. She's like, but I want peace. She'd just been on the beach for a week with at her boyfriend's beach house in Florida, and was flying back to Nashville. She had some appointments and get her booth set up and, re-display products that she needed to do. And she's like, I just want a life that is full of peace. And I just want to, and that's what my goal is for this year, is to relax, slow down, breathe, trust God. Things will come. If you work, you don't have to work 100 hours a week. You can work 5 to 10 hours intentionally every week, and be successful. And so like we were totally in simpatico that we wanted peace. We want to make enough money to pay the bills, but we aren't about like climbing the ladder and chasing the next thing. And so I got to learn her heart. And I also got to learn how driven she was and what some of the career, her trajectory of her life. And so I know that if she did join, she would definitely be a go-getter because she's just her background and what her skill set and what she would bring to the company. And then my notes are so hard to read and I don't have my glasses on. Let's see. What their goals are. So all this comes from learning. So who they are, what makes them tick, what motivates them. I have another consultant on my team. One of the things she says is, what do I need to do to earn $500 a month? So we had a whole conversation about how much you need to sell. And I said, you need to sell about this much to make $750 a month because you want to have a little cushion to cover all your business expenses. And then you can pocket the $500 a month. So that consultant will be completely happy at earning $500 a month. I have another consultant on my team. All she wants is to make enough money to support her Mary and Martha habit. So if she sells $500 every month, she makes $125 a month. She's happy. I'm happy. Everybody's happy, right? But you can't learn who somebody is, what motivates them, and what makes them tick without listening to them. So listen and learn. Those are my first two tips. And how do you find out what motivates somebody or what their goal is? Simple. You ask them. So you ask questions. So what motivates you? And then just listen. Or, if you did decide to do something like Mary and Martha, what would be your main goal? What would you like to get out of this opportunity? And then just listen. So listen, learn, love. This is probably, let me stop my timer. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Okay. So love. People do not care what you know until they know how much you care. So just love people. Love people where they are.